Friends, welcome to the biology class. On the other day, that is in the last episode, we have continued the nervous system, and today we will also continue with the nervous system, and it is the part 3, that is episode 3 of the nervous system. Episode 3, and yesterday we have completed the cerebral hemisphere, that is forebrain. We have completed the forebrain. Forebrain is divided into forebrain is cerebrum. Number A is cerebrum. Cerebrum is divided into two parts. And another part is and this there is a furrow known as central sulcus or fissure, central fissure, and then remains joined at the base by corpus callosum. Corpus callosum. And those two cerebral hemisphere, there is a medial furrow, that is central sulcus. And this cerebral hemisphere, along with these two also, they are covering the lateral ventricles. So we will be continuing with the lateral, continuing with the ventricles. That is, otherwise, this is the third ventricle, aqueduct of Sylvius, then fourth ventricle. Fourth ventricle continues as spinal cord in the vertebra. So we have come across these lateral ventricles. We have not come across this. This is the third ventricle. This is also inside the forebrain. Forebrain part 2. That is, A is this, B is cerebrum, and the next one is diencephalon. This is known as diencephalon, diencephalon, and this is known as telencephalon. Diencephalon. This diencephalon is here. That is, in the third ventricle, the diencephalon is there. So we can say that from here itself, the cerebral hemisphere is there. This cerebral hemisphere that we have come across, now we will go to this. That is diencephalon. Its cavity is the third ventricle. So this is the third ventricle, and two lateral ventricles are in the forebrains. We will go one by one through the ventricles only, so that we can find a track. This diencephalon, now I am erasing this one. That is, this is over cerebral hemisphere and this is over diencephalon. This is diencephalon. It is like you have seen some inflorescence. In inflorescence, you have read that this. And here, some flowers grows. So many flowers, it grows here. These flowers goes here, grows here. In Euphorbiaceae family, that is here the flowers grows. So consider this as cerebral hemisphere. So I am erasing the cerebral hemisphere now. We have come across, we have completed the cerebral hemisphere, and now we are in the diencephalon. This is known as thalamus. In fluorescence or in flower inflorescence, this is known as thalamus. Now here also, this diencephalon, here the diencephalon, it continues, this diencephalon consists of thalamus. Above the thalamus, there is epithalamus. Thalamus. So thalamus, epithalamus. Then in the below there is hypothalamus. Thalamus, and in between there is metathalamus. Clear? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. These 4 you have to write. So this thalamus consists of these 4 parts. Diencephalon is associated with thalamus, epithalamus, metathalamus, and hypothalamus. This epithalamus here, the epithalamus here is consists of pineal body. This much you will write. The epithalamus is outgrowth. This contains the pineal body. Then we have come the main thing, the thalamus. This thalamus encircles, this thalamus is on both sides of this third ventricle, on the roof of the third ventricle. So this thalamus is on the roof of the third ventricle on both sides. Thalamus is on both sides, this side and that side also. In 2 sides, this thalamus is there. And where is metathalamus? Metathalamus, this is thalamus, or this is thalamus. This thalamus on the back side, this metathalamus in the back side of thalamus and on the right. Thalamus is on the right and back of thalamus. Clear? You write the position only. So metathalamus is on the right and back side of the thalamus. And then hypo means below. This is roof. Hypothalamus is in the base or floor or base of third ventricle. This is roof of the third ventricle, and this one is the third thalamus is this. Hypothalamus, hypo means below. So this thalamus encircles the third ventricle. So what we have come across? The diencephalon, the cavity is known as third ventricle, and there it is associated with 4 parts, that is thalamus, epithalamus, metathalamus, and hypothalamus. The epithalamus contains the pineal body. Thalamus is on the roof of the third ventricle. Roof of the third ventricle. This is third ventricle. Third ventricle roof. That is roof of the third ventricle on both sides of the third ventricle. It is associated. Then metathalamus is on the thalamus, back side of the thalamus, and in the right base of the right base. There is a little portion, and hypothalamus in the floor and base of the third ventricle. It encircles the entire third ventricle, and it is associated with pituitary posterior gland. This thalamus has pituitary posterior parts. It contains posterior pituitary. Posterior pituitary is neural in functions. It do not have any canal, so it secretes the hormones. So it connects the hormonal. It links nervous system with the endocrine system. Posterior pituitary, it links the nervous system with the endocrine system. By secreting neurohormone. So neurohormone from the hypothalamus, it controls this nerve. It make a link between the nervous system, endocrine system. So it gives the nerve supplies and it acts. And whenever it receives the signal, it sends to the cerebral hemisphere or cerebral cortex. Clear? So this is forebrain is complete. Now we have come across third ventricle also. So this is third ventricle, and we will go to this aqueduct of Sylvius. This is in the midbrain. This is in the midbrain. How? See. Again, I am writing this one. This is thalamus, and this portion, aqueduct of Sylvius, it is the midbrain. So we'll write forebrain and then we'll come to midbrain. Midbrain covers the aqueduct of Sylvius. Forebrain, then we'll write midbrain. Forebrain is known as prosencephalon. It is mesencephalon. Or you can write here also that diencephalon links the prosencephalon forebrain with the hindbrain. This much you can write also. So the less you write, but you maintain all these things. Write all these things so that you are touching everything but not going into the deep of the chapter, because you have to complete it. This mesencephalon is, right now I have said, that is, again I am saying, third ventricle, then aqueduct of Sylvius, then fourth ventricle. This aqueduct of Sylvius, midbrain is made up, this is made up of 1 and 2 AB. This is also made up of A. A is known as cerebral peduncle. Cerebral peduncle. C-E-R-E-B-R-A-L. Cerebral. P-E-D-U-N-C-L-E. This is also known as crura cerebri. This is also known as cerebral peduncle or crura cerebri. Like here, this portion is known as peduncle or rachis in inflorescence. So if you touch this portion, it is the brain stem actually, or this is peduncle. Peduncle, cerebral peduncle is made up of thick fibrous tissues. So what we will write? The cerebral peduncle, this is a thick fibrous tissue and its length is 2 centimeter. It is 2 centimeter. How long? 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter. This is the total area, space. This is the total space. So we will write it is 2 centimeter long, number 1. Number 2, it is fibrous. It is fibrous coat. It is a fibrous coat. That is, it is made up of action and dendrons. This is fibrous coat. And the cavity of the and this fibrous coat, it this portion, it is a place of reflex center. Reflex center. So this portion is reflex center and it contains aqueduct of Sylvius, right? It contains aqueduct of Sylvius, or this is also otherwise known as cerebral aqueduct. So aqueduct of Sylvius is there and it is 2 centimeter. It acts as a reflex center. It is a fibrous coat. It is a fibrous coat. Its center, it connects the cerebrum with the cerebellum. Cerebrum and cerebellum, I am coming. So it is a joining of these two. That we will write later whenever we come to cerebellum. And its cavity is known as aqueduct of Sylvius. Clear? Now, this is midbrain. Another point is there in the midbrain. It contains 2 points. A is cerebrum, B is diencephalon. Here A is cerebral peduncle or crura cerebri, CRU, crura cerebri, and number B is cerebral peduncle, and this one is known as corpora quadrigemina. This is known as corpora quadrigemina. Quadri means 4. Here we'll see, I'm making a diagram here. Thalamus, hypothalamus, gland, and this is aqueduct of Sylvius. This aqueduct of Sylvius has corpora quadrigemina, 4 protuberances. There are 4 protuberances, one on that side, one on this side, one on this side, and one on this side. These protuberances, and there are also 1 protuberances on that side. This connects, or this is it goes along. I will write in that way anyway. These, and this. Okay. These are these 2 on that side. On that side, there is another one. These olfactory. Olfactory in the nasal. And these 2 are optic lobes. So corpora quadrigemina consists of 4 solid lobes or protuberances. It contains 4 solid protuberances which are concerned with olfactory and optic. Olfactory and visual, right? Visual senses. Clear? Corpora quadrigemina, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 lobes, solid lobes which are concerned with olfactory and visual responses or visual reflexes. Visual senses, you can write visual reflex or visual senses. So we have come across 4 brain A, B, cerebrum, diencephalon. Midbrain mesencephalon contains cerebral peduncle and corpora quadrigemina. Here also you will find one thing. Here in the middle, here you will get some gray matter. Here and there you will some gray matter. These are called nucleus. This midbrain contains red nucleus. It comes. This is actually the cell body which is gray. It is found in the corpora quadrigemina or cerebral peduncle or midbrain. These are known as nuclei. There are so many paliform nucleus and some other amygdaloid bodies and others. We will not go into the deep. Simply it comes where a nucleus is there. You will simply say it is in the midbrain. There are some cell bodies arranged in the form of islands. These are called nuclei. This is known as red nucleus is found in the midbrain. So we have come across forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain is very easy. Will come. So I'm writing this one, hindbrain here. You take a pause and write whatever I am saying and write the pictures also. Draw the pictures also. Then forebrain, midbrain, then hindbrain. Hindbrain or rhombencephalon. In case of inflammation of the encephalation, we know encephalitis. Encephalitis, encephalitis. Meningitis, encephalitis, these are the inflammation of the brain parts. Now, this hindbrain consists of 3 things. Here it is 2, cerebrum and diencephalon. There it is cerebral peduncle and corpora quadrigemina A and B. And now, midbrain contains 3 things. Midbrain is divided into A, B, and C. It is cerebellum. Cerebellum. Clear? And this one is known as pons. And this is known as medulla oblongata. Where this contains, midbrain contains which? Midbrain contains aqueduct of Sylvius. AQS, aqueduct of Sylvius. We are going by taking into consideration the ventricles only. So left ventricles, forebrain, forebrain contains third ventricle, and midbrain contains aqueduct of Sylvius, and this contains the fourth ventricle. This actually the medulla contains the fourth ventricle. So we will consider the hindbrain is concerned with the fourth ventricle. Where is cerebellum? What is cerebellum? That will make a cerebellum is this is cerebrum. This is the brain stem or the cerebral peduncles and corpora quadrigemina. This is the side. This is the aqueduct of Sylvius, and then the fourth ventricle comes. This fourth ventricle contains cerebellum. Cerebellum is like this. Cerebellum is like this. On the dorsal side it is cerebrum, and the ventral side there is nothing. So this is cerebellum. This is the small cerebral hemisphere, you can say. This is the second largest part of the brain. This also cerebellum is divided into two, on this side and this side. These are cerebellar hemisphere. Cerebral hemisphere. This is on the dorsal side is cerebellum. So in dorsal is cerebrum, and it contains two parts, that is divided into two cerebral hemispheres. There are two cerebellar hemisphere. In the dorsal side it is cerebellum. This is a point, cerebellum, and another point we will write that it maintains the balance of the body. Balance, or we can say that it is voluntary equilibrium and body movements. It contains voluntary, V-O-L-U-N-T-A-R-Y, voluntary movements. It maintains the equilibrium of the body and body movements. If it is disturbed, then your body movements will not be clear. You cannot move. You cannot maintain the equilibrium like this. If all voluntary controls are controlled by this cerebellum. Clear? This is the 3 point you should write. And pons, it is composed of thick fibers. It is composed of thick fiber, thick nerve fiber, right? Composed of thick nerve fiber. A thick nerve fiber is there here itself, and there comes the medulla oblongata. It actually encircles the fourth ventricle. So here is fourth ventricle, aqueduct of Sylvius, and you write here fourth ventricle. So if you can remember the ventricles are, how the ventricles are there, then you elaborate the sentence. Medulla oblongata is actually the last portion. It is the posterior part of the brain. It encircles the fourth ventricle. It encircles the the fourth ventricle, and its cavity is fourth ventricle. It connects the one more thing. It connects the brain with the spinal cord. It is the last part. It connects the brain with spinal cord. So our brain is over. It is not that much difficult. Only you have to write in a sequence. Simply you make my video by you view it as giving a pause or make it slow. Slowly you write it, whatever I am saying, and you write it in a seriatim, then you can write the entire brain. Now let us have a recapitulation of all these things. Very small recapitulations. Write like this. This is forebrain. This is midbrain. And from this to this is known as hindbrain. Prosencephalon, mesencephalon, rhombencephalon. And here you will write telencephalon. And here you will write diencephalon. Clear? And thereafter, midbrain encircles the aqueduct of Sylvius, and hindbrain contains 3. So this contains, forebrain contains A, B. A is telencephalon, this is diencephalon, and next one, midbrain, consists of 2, A and B. What is A? Midbrain is A is cerebral peduncle, crura or crura cerebri, and this is corpora quadri gemina. And this hindbrain contains A, B, C. This is cerebellum, cerebellum, cerebellum. This is pons, and this is medulla oblongata. And it contains 2 lateral ventricles. And third ventricle, it contains aqueduct of Sylvius, it contains fourth ventricle. And then it is spinal cord. This is spinal cord. Clear? You take a brief note of this and you can write everything, whatever you want to. Till then, thank you. Please do like and share and subscribe.